Right, so yeah, I'm Rick Romano. This is 1Networking. Let's get started. So I thought I'd do my Instagram story since I'm a social media guy. So what better way to sort of show who I am and what I do. So like I said earlier, it's all about storytelling. So this is going to be a short Instagram story about me. It all kicks off obviously with the most important people in my life, and that is these two ladies. The little one is my daughter Sky, who is going to be 9 in September. That's scary. But yeah, absolutely amazing. I think probably the best marketer you'll ever meet. She knows how to work it. So yeah, she's really, really good. And obviously, so I've done her a little Sklino t-shirt, which will make sense in a minute. But she loves being in the photos. She's an absolute joy. So she's half my reason for doing what I do. And the other one is, a couple of you might know Charlotte. So Charlotte's my wife. She's my reason for coming to Norwich. We met 5 or 6 years ago, and she's the reason that I ended up moving from Cheltenham up to Norwich, and we got married. Oh, what would it be? It'd be 2 years in September. So they're my why. They're the people. They're the reason why I do it. This is going to be a little bit about me. So some people don't understand what RIMANO is and where it comes from. So if you look sort of top left, so RIMANO is my name. My full name is Rick Martin Notley. And I've taken the first 2 letters of each, and that's how we sort of come together with it. So it's a little sort of play on words. It's something that has worked quite well. It's a unique word, so it's really handy for sort of Google search and things like that. You can see a picture there, early doors with my roller banner before I started shaving my head. And then when I started RIMANO, this picture here, bottom left, so the Starbucks in Bethorpe in Norwich, which is on the side of the road, local service station, that was my first office. That's where I started RIMANO, having had an agency with a couple of mates in Cheltenham. I sold my shares, took that money, came over here, started RIMANO in a coffee shop. And it was only when my banking app started categorising Starbucks as my second biggest expenditure at £430, I think it was, a month. But I thought, yeah, do you know what? I could probably have an office. So I did. And then that was when the first office came together. We moved into a bigger office, took on a couple of staff, and of course we went into lockdown. So the next step was converting the garage, which was my home office then after. So moving on, so what do? So I manage your social media and marketing for you. It's as simple as that. So, a lot of people are not confident, like I say. One of the things that we love to do is exhibit. So wherever possible, you'll find me either online or offline exhibiting. I love to sort of get in front of people, love to speak to people, love to find out about their business. But my passion is the marketing, as it says there, and the social media. That's something that I've just always gravitated towards. So my background, having done lots of sales and marketing roles, I always looked at sort of marketing and social media. I haven't come from the university route into marketing or social media, or the fluffy side, if you like. I've come at it because I need business, I need leads, I need to make more sales. So it's always come at it from if we're going to do it, let's do it with purpose and because we want something from it, not just because we want a few likes and a few comments. So that's really where sort of my attitude is a little bit different sometimes to sort of the everyday social media manager, because I'll look at it and go, right, if you're spending 300 quid, you need 900 quid out of it. If not, it's an expensive hobby. So if you're outsourcing it, it shouldn't be a cost once the wheels are turning at full speed. So that's what I enjoy. One of our sort of key sort of mottos is, we're in the business of helping you generate more business. Like the most important thing for me, or if you like, the thing I enjoy the most, is getting in your business, asking the questions, and then always thinking, right, if I was your client, what do I want to know? What do I need to know? What's going to make me trust you? Are you easy to buy from? And the marketing and social media just is that plan, answering those questions, bringing up the trust levels so that people think, oh yeah, they're the guys to go to when you're ready. But it is about generating business. There are some campaigns which are obviously brand awareness, but ultimately it's bookings, conversations, sales, attendance at events, whatever it needs in your business. That's what we're geared up to do. And that's the bit I enjoy. So we'll put you a package together. If you want to outsource it, cool, we'll happily do that. We do everything, like I said earlier, we're doing sort of TikTok reels. Now we're going to obviously start going into Threads, which is the new platform. So whatever's needed for your business, And I will be strong with you and say, look, if I don't think, Facebook is the right way to go, we won't spend a lot of time on it, because I want to get that revenue in and the results in, and then we can look to sort of bleed out into other areas. So for a lot of clients, I'm logged in as them on LinkedIn, I'm growing their accounts, and that's sort of 80% of the focus. And then we just post, once or twice a week on the other platforms to sort of maintain that brand visibility. So it really is, it's not off the shelf. A lot of sort of social media packages we'll post 3 times to this platform and this often and that much. And that's just like, you're just paying for activity, which is cool, but it's not necessarily going to give you the results. So sticking with the theme. So my Instagram story is, I don't want people getting frustrated with your social media, because we can do it for you. We'll manage it, we create it, we do all the captions, we'll post it on your behalf. Packages start from just £100 a month for a real sort of basic sort of maintenance and brand visibility package. And you go all the way up to, we've got people paying sort of £1,500 a month, and that's literally, twice a day, videos, everything. So there's something for everybody if you don't want to do it. But this is the primary motivation behind why either people ask us to do it for them, or they'll ask us to do it with them, is people just don't know what to post, or they've got an idea but they don't know how to create a graphic, or they don't know how to word it, or they're not sure how to sort of get it out there into the real world. And I think that's where, particularly for sort of small businesses, that's their sort of main challenge. So obviously in the last sort of few weeks, this is what I've been talking about. This has been my sort of primary focus is Nudge Club, which is our low-cost membership to help support small businesses to do their own social media. So I've got a short little video which hopefully will play nicely for you. And all of this has been created in Canva. So bear with, this is about 60 seconds. So that's our little sort of promo video. All of that is created from scratch in Canva using all the stock footage. A few of you know that on Friday, so members of Nudge Club get the free training with me every month. And so that's just an example of what you could create for your business in Canva, or the sort of thing that we'll create for our clients. But it's also it's a nice way to just showcase what Nudge is, I think, because I think sometimes it's really hard when you've got something that I feel is sort of jam-packed with value and features to get it across. So, which is why I tend to focus on the sort of daily content email tips, because that tends to be the primary thing for people. But I've got some people who said, do you know what, even just for the training that you offer once a month, it's worth the 25 quid. So I've got a couple of people who are staff in a team and they're members simply for the training. And obviously, naturally they're picking up some of the emails. And the other side is we run a weekly networking for an hour, and I do a coffee and content session, which I invite people to basically just on Zoom, get together with me over a coffee, talk about what you want to share, and I'll spitball ideas sort of thing. And I think the nice thing for me is I love spending time with small businesses and getting into their marketing. What I've been guilty of in the past is spending so much time for that and not charging for it, if I'm completely honest. I'm very sort of giving with time. So it was a sort of conversation during lockdown, and with my sort of wife, she said, you've got to stop giving all your time away for free. So we sort of thought, well, actually, this gives me the opportunity it's low cost, where, if Ian asks a question about, I really want to promote this part of my business, by answering it in that sort of group one-to-many format, everyone gets the benefit of the answer. So it means that actually there's that sort of value there, sort of thing. And actually it's great because we've probably got a handful of people who ask the questions that other people are actually thinking about. And there is that there's a nice community building in there now. With almost like we're all in the same boat. We all hate social media, can't do social media, or we're not creative. And they're doing business with one another because naturally, just like us guys, if you stick a load of people who like one another and they do business, then they're likely to sort of start using one another. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell and what I offer. I don't know how we're fixed for time, sort of thing, but maybe there's time for a question or two.
There is, absolutely. Anyone want to take the floor with a question?
Stunned.
Everyone's really shy, Rick. Oh, now we've got a flurry of questions.
One starts, they all come. There you go.
Exactly. It's like waiting for a bus. Caris, go ahead.
How long were you working in Starbucks for? So, £400 a month for how many months?
At least 3 or 4. Yeah, it was close to £2,000. I think I'd spent in that particular card because I use Starling banking and it groups your purchases, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it was only as I accidentally swiped across where it categorised it. I was like, 470.
Oh my goodness.
And then it was like, but then that's where I had meetings with people, and to be honest, it's got power. It was open reasonably late. It's got half decent coffee and all the rest of it. But it just made me think, actually, I need to get an office, and that's when I got a couple of staff, sort of thing. But longer than I probably should have. But it gave me that reassurance that if I can be spending £400 on coffee, God knows whatever else.
Yeah.
Definitely get an office and move on to the next step, sort of thing. But
so it happened for a reason.
I've translated that into Kurt Geiger bags. I've translated that into a fortnight's holiday. It soon adds up, right? Soon adds up. £2,000 soon adds up. Thanks, Caris. Good question. Dan.
I love that question. It's great. It made me laugh when you said that, because I was thinking you're probably there more than some of the staff, like actually at Starbucks, which is brilliant. But no, I just want to say, great presentation. Love the way you put that together. I thought it was really interesting with like the done for you packages, like you'll do it. They started at a lot lower than what I thought. But I just had a question. Do you have a package where you'll like reach out to inquiries and stuff like that? Will you do all of that for people, or is it more just like the content creation side of thing? I was just curious. That was all.
So we call it a growth plan, but internally we call it like the fire starter, which is basically like, so if I'm logged in as you on LinkedIn or excuse me, or Instagram, if that's the right sort of platform for who you want to attract, we will start connecting, liking, commenting, and engaging with the right audience. Now, for some clients, we do handle it through to the messages. My personal preference is I always want to get it over to the individual, someone in the business, as soon as possible, because I think it's important that they do deal with someone in the business. I think brand voice and everything else. So we start that, and we do email outreach for people as well, sort of thing. So we will certainly do the sort of proactive stuff, sort of thing, which has almost got nothing to do with creating content and things like that. What we do try and suggest is, for argument's sake, if you wanted to attract HR professionals for whatever reason, we would create a month's worth of content and almost revamp your entire LinkedIn profile so that it almost says, we work closely with HR partners to deliver X, Y, Z. Your last sort of 5 or 6 posts are all about working with HR people, so that then systematically, if I then go to connect with a HR individual, so LinkedIn will show the majority of your content to your new connections for the first 2 weeks, whilst it tries to learn, do you like one another, and how do you feel about the content that you're sharing. So if you primed it ready, so that all you're doing is connecting with HR people, and all you're talking about is HR people, it doesn't look so salesy. It's a bit clever in some ways, that they think, do you know what, actually maybe I should have a chat with these guys, and it's very organic. It looks like it's happened by accident. So we sort of put all that sort of stuff in place. So whoever you want to work with, it's that whole, if you're a bit vanilla, you sort of everything to everyone, nothing to nobody. So it's worth almost sort of going, do you know what, I want to focus on accountants, sort of thing, and make sure all my content is geared towards them for that month, 6 weeks. Review it. You might have multiple things, but we take care of all of that sort of thing. So we are like the business development arm, if you like, for a few different businesses.
That's really good to know, because there's not a lot of people in the social media space that do that. Like you say, often it's quite rigid packages, all about just getting content out there. So that's really good to know. Thank you.
Thanks, man.